Swimming in your sea, caught my eye. I don't wanna chase you all night. I wanna make you feel more than alright. Baby, please stop the make-believe, 'cause I don't wanna wait to stay the night. Staring at your face, you stare at mine. I wanna make you feel more than alive. Let it be, levitate me. Baby, please, I want to take you higher. Come on, let me light your fire. Ooh, I want to take you higher.
It is Monday night. Time for some more straight talk. We got all kinds of weird news. Oreo coming out with some new flavors. Ugh. Put ketchup on what? Oscars snafu. Rickie holds on. Well, I wouldn't say holds on, but Rickie gets it done at Honda. Congratulations to him. Well, special thanks to our sponsors out there, Eat24.com. Have you ate yet? Well, if you haven't ate yet, log on to Eat24.com. Download that app for your favorite mobile device. Click, order, and eat. It's like a food truck in your pants. Really, it's just that easy. Also, HotSauceVault.com. Check out Louie at HotSauceVault.com. He's got hottest of the hot, wimpy for the wimpy guy or gal, and gag gifts, you name it. He's got it all occasions. We got Hank, welcome to the show. We had the Honda Classic over the weekend. What a tough track. I mean, just throwing him fits coming down that 15, 16, 17 in the bear trap there. You look at Rickie Fowler, got a 5-shot lead standing up there and hits it in the water. I was just like, oh. And then you got to listen to Johnny Miller, just like, He's like, just like a little chihuahua, just won't. You're like, oh my God. And he goes, so you guys got to learn how to finish out these tournaments. I'm like, come on. The guy won. Way to go. Scott, welcome to the show. Ted, welcome to the show. And you listen to Johnny Miller blab on about how, how he didn't play very good and all this. I'll tell you what, it's a tough track. Wind blowing like it was. I mean, people smacking balls in the water like I don't know how many they had throughout the day, but they're greatest players in the world. And it's not that, it looks like they can aim the world left and guys are hitting it in the water on the right. So, you never know. It's one of those, I would like to do is have a water hole at the course I'm at like that, because it would help me sell more golf balls in the shop. That's the way I look at it. Hey, get them to make those pro shop purchases. Thank you. It's like I always say when they stand up on the first tee and yank it left into the range. And another quality fine range donation made by... I always laugh at the people that tee off with a yellow golf ball on the first hole, because all our range balls are yellow, and it's like finding a needle in the haystack when you go down there and you hit a yellow golf ball down the left side of one, because people blow it right on the first hole from the range into the first hole. It's going to happen. We have I was glad to see Rickie hold off. I guess I love these stats they come up with. Dave, welcome to the show. They come up with these stats. Oh, he's held the 54-hole lead this many times, and he hasn't pulled through in one, and blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. Yeah, sure, Ted. Yeah. I'd love to do that, but I don't think the city would quite go with that deal. I don't think they'd go for the free Pepsi. I would like it, because it would sell some. Yeah, that'd be great. But I think they might be a little upset if I made that deal. It's you look at Hatton. He come through there, but the guy that really shocked me was you coming down to the end there. You have half off if I can get that done. Yeah, we'll see. Crystal, welcome to the show. But the guy that really surprised me with the whole tournament, the ending of it, not Rickie hitting in the water. He's got a 5-shot lead. It was a 1 mental error. He made a great recovery to hit a 9-iron or whatever in there, staff and make the putt for bogey. The guy that surprised me was Morgan Hoffman. Not Morgan Hoffman. Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland bogeys the last 2 holes. He 3 putts 17 after he hits it in there stiff, and then he doinks it all around and hits his second shot laying up on 18 and dumps it in the water. And I'm like, wow. I've done that mental error. My dad always told me, he said, when you're going to lay up, don't lay up, lay back. Because you think about, I'm going to hit this nice, easy, whatever layup club. Let's say I got a 7-iron layup. And you smooth swing a 7-iron and you end up hitting it 20 yards farther than you normally do because it bounces and you don't play the roll and everything. So he always told me, he said, lay back. So play 1 or 2 clubs less than what you think you're going to play. So, yeah, I was shocked. And then it just was not. When your wheels start falling off, sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes you don't have run flats, as they call it, But, I felt bad for him. You look at guys that ended up Morgan Hoffman, you didn't even see him the whole day. And he ends up finishing tied for second. And then you got Johnny Vegas and Billy Horschel tied for, and Chad Collins and Wesley Bryan, and Martin Keimer and Terrell Hatton all tied for fourth at 700. But I think with Jonathan Vegas, he made I'm pretty sure. Let me look at his scorecard here. Yeah, he made a 1 on the 15th hole. That makes a nice little 64 in the last round. You love to see that. I always had that fear of making a hole-in-one when you're got a real windy day and you're hitting into the wind and you have to tell everybody, oh, yeah, well, we had a 30-mile-an-hour wind and I had to hit 3 more clubs than normal. And they look at you like, you hit a what? So, but no, a 1's great anytime. Although the last time I had a hole-in-one, I had a friend of mine who thought that meant he had an open bar the whole night. So, yeah, it was expensive. I was, but no, thinking about Rickie winning that, hopefully that this will put him up. I'd love to see him being able to compete in the Masters. Compete high in the Masters. Same way with Dustin Johnson. I love to see DJ win a Masters there, or even Rickie. What amazed me so much about Rickie is, and they talked about Rickie and a few other ones, but Rickie only weighs 150 pounds. I've seen him in person. He's not that big a guy. I sat next to him at a table next to him at a restaurant when he was here in the Quad Cities, and he only weighs 150, and that's soaking wet. And he hits the ball out of sight. Just amazing how a guy that small can have that much clubhead speed and move the ball. That's just, it's just amazing. These athletes just hit it so far compared to what they used to. And it's not just the technology. Because there's guys that are 150 pounds that don't hit it that far. It's just amazing how far these guys hit it. They said the one, was it 18, I think it was, on the third day, Saturday, his tee shot was 341 yards. He carried it over the corner of the hole and carried all the bunkers and everything. Put himself in there sweet going into the last. Yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't do anything like that. No, I've never been able to hit it that far. I don't have that amount of club head speed. We had with the Honda Classic going on. We had Jay. Welcome to the show. I like to say, be safe out there. We have, with. I'm like going, what the heck? I'm flipping through and I'm getting ads popping up, whatever, for news stories, and I'm seeing stuff. But I got a lot of weird news coming up. Oscars. Wow, did they make a whoops at the Oscars? I bet that's got to do is Steve Harvey is just got to be going, thank you. You just made it to where, took me off the gaff list. So, and you can't, you can't completely blame it on, the snafu on the announcers when they're announcing it, because they're not the ones that make up the cards. And I'm sure whoever did make up the cards will probably not be doing it next year. But apparently Jimmy Kimmel and Warren Beatty were on stage at the Oscars, and they named, he said, we sincerely apologize to Moonlight and La La Land. He goes, Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, and Oscar viewers, for the error was made during the award announcement for Best Picture. This is which is overseeing Academy Award ballot counting for 83 years. Yeah. So it said the presenter had mistakenly been given the wrong category envelope, and when discovered, was immediately corrected. So we are currently investigating how this has happened and deeply regret that this occurred. We appreciate the grace in which the nominees and the Academy's ABC and Jimmy Kimmel handled the situation. Can you imagine? Hey, you won Best Picture or whatever it is. Oops. No, I'm sorry, you didn't. Yeah. Well, most of the, with the Oscars, I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. My son and I actually watched Pixels. My 11-year-old son and I, we were batching it. My wife and son went to a college visit. I had to work today, so I couldn't go. I had actually a doctor's appointment today, so I couldn't go. They went to a college visit in Missouri, and we stayed home and watched Pixels, and it was it's a cute show. I think it was fun. He liked it. I liked but it's so funny when he says, the one guy's singing, and he says, he's just making a fool out of himself, Dad. And I'm like, look at him like, you're only 11, you're not 20. So yeah, I asked him tonight or whatever. I said if he wanted a burger, and we had leftover McDonald's cheeseburgers, and I said from yesterday that we just didn't eat, and I said, do you want one? And he goes, what's it got on it? And I said, oh, the normal lettuce, tomato, whatever, pickles, onions, whatever. No lettuce, I'm sorry. Pickles, onions, whatever. I don't like onions. I don't want them. Okay. Yeah, so very, very picky. So I saw an article, and it was talking about, Oscars was all about bashing Donald Trump last night. And I'm like, come on, really? Why would you want to tune in to watch that? I mean, really? If you want to see people bash Trump, just watch the news. I mean, that's what's going on right now. You don't have to go on about you getting an award, how it has some effect on you should be listened to for politics. Who cares? Got an award for how you acted in a movie or how you did something in a movie. That's it. So, celebrate that. You know, I that's why I didn't turn it on, because I knew it was all it was going to be about, attacking Donald Trump, and it gets so boring. It's no fun to watch that. So, the story was out that was it. Let me see if I can find it here. And it says Donald Trump puts ketchup on his steak. So, I was looking at. I don't normally like too much of ketchup. Occasionally on things. Jay, thanks for stopping by. Have a great night. Be safe out there. And we think it's about what people put ketchup on. And number one was French fries. I like them on French fries occasionally, not all the time. It depends on what kind of fries they are, too. Another one, number two, burgers. A lot of people put cheeseburgers or burgers. They put ketchup on it. That's great. This is one I can't stand it on. I see people do this all the time, and I always think back of Clint Eastwood putting ketchup on hot dogs. No, I can't. I don't know why, but Clint Eastwood said from The Enforcer, who put ketchup on hot dogs? And I remember that from that movie, and I don't know why. It's always stuck with me. I can't put ketchup on hot dogs. Just mustard. That's it. Now, and there's another one, number 4, chicken nuggets. Just chicken in general. I had I call him a kid. Well, he's not. He's married with kids now. When I was back at another course, I was a head pro at. He'd always get a chicken sandwich, and he would just cover it with ketchup. You couldn't even see the chicken. Yeah, he was just a ketchup fanatic, as you want to call it. So yeah, he would. And so I mean, it's very common to see people with chicken and ketchup. I like to do is honey mustard on chicken nuggets. And then there's ketchup on eggs. I've never had that. It just doesn't sound good to me. I don't know why. A lot of people have it. Somebody said ketchup and a little bit of horseradish on some scrambled eggs. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I like horseradish. I actually like horseradish with prime rib. That's good. Sausages, ketchup on sausages. I don't know about that. Now, I've heard of this ketchup on hash browns. It's kind of like ketchup on French fries, really, when you think about it. But and then I don't know why, but ketchup. The number 8 was ketchup on pizza. Well, aren't in it tomato sauce already? So why would you add more ketchup on it? But I've seen people do is get pizza and then they add more cheese. You go there and you add more Parmesan cheese to pizza, and I'm like, you already got cheese on it. And ketchup on macaroni and cheese. That just doesn't make sense to me. And ketchup on grilled cheese. I see dipping it or something like that in there. They talk about potato wedges, steak, corn dogs. Corn dogs, mustard. Gotta do mustard on corn dogs. Ketchup on spaghetti. Well, I'm like, wait a minute. Aren't you kind of going on the sauce thing again? But here's the one that was weird. ketchup on potato chips. And the person said it's like French fries and ketchup, but crunchier. I don't know. Never heard of that. And ketchup on fish, especially only on deep fried breaded fish. Well, I like doing tartar sauce and mayonnaise or whatever on fish. And it goes. I mean, they got like cheese on toast, lasagna, and noodles. That was ended out the list there. So number one, of course, French fries. Yeah, I would do fries. Who can go? French fries. I like to do is French fry. Nick, welcome to the show. I like to do French fries with cheese. That's good there. Hot cheese. They have what is it? Oh, I'm trying to think of it. What is it? Checkers. They do the loaded. What is it? The loaded fries or whatever it is. My son loves those. You get the with the bacon and sour cream and all the the loaded, fully loaded fries they call them. Yeah, those are good. Emily, welcome to the show. Kurt, welcome to the show. They have also, before I get out, I get kind of bebopping back to the golf. Jason Day, I guess, withdrew from the World Golf Championship in Mexico. Says he has double ear infection and the flu. That's not good. So that's going to that'll zap you. And you don't want to do is, one, if you get ear infections, you don't want to fly with that. That's going to really, probably would not make you feel good. I went to my doctor today. I got to have a sinus surgery. That's why my nose looks like it's always pointed the wrong direction. I led too many fights with my face. Well, I went to my doctor and they told me I got to have a CAT scan. So they're going to scan my cat Thursday to see if I can have any infection or anything like that. And if I don't have any infection, I'll have surgery next week, which would be great. Get it over with so I can breathe. But if I do have any sinus infection or any type like that, I got to go 6 weeks on antibiotics before I can go to surgery. I'm like, oh, no. You're kidding me. And then I probably have to have another CAT scan and then do the surgery. So you're looking at 2 months. Well, I'd like to get it done before the main brunt of the golf season takes place. I'd just love to be able to breathe again. That would be so awesome. I mean, it's so hard to even, like, you sit there and I can't even breathe through this one whole side. And it would help for working out, doing everything. I mean, just normal day to day. It's amazing. When you don't realize it. Somebody was talking and they were talking about taking somebody hostage or whatever like that, and I was like, really, I said, if I was ever taken into hostage and they gag me, I'd die. Because the reason why is if they put tape around my mouth, I can't breathe. I can't breathe through my nose. It wouldn't work. So, George, welcome to the show. I did want to talk about I'm kind of going wild news here, going all around. Actor Bill Paxton died. Wow, dead at 61. And if you don't recognize who he was in Aliens and Twister. Great actor. Sad to see that. I don't know what they talk about. It goes in threes and stuff like that. You just hate to see, actors and actresses like that are just iconic. I remember Twister, we watched that. It's been a couple years and we were watching it, and it just happened to be at night when we were watching. There wasn't any storm going on. But every time a car drove by, you could see the lights outside, just a glint of them in the window. And my son thought it was lightning. So every time it had lightning, he'd go over and look out the window. Thought, when a couple years ago, so he was only like 8 or 9. And he was freaking out thinking that we were having a storm at the same time, that it was a twister or whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, at that age. It's like me watching, when I was a kid, watching, what was it, The Wizard of Oz. I mean, I was scared to death of flying monkeys, So, but yeah, you see that. You look at Oreo. Oreo's coming out with new flavors. And some of them will, I don't know when exactly, but if you go to, this is apparently coming soon, waffles and syrup Oreos. That one's supposed to be coming out soon. You got also jelly donut Oreo. Mississippi mud pie Oreo. And the one, which I just can't believe that they're going to make this one, but it's called Firework Oreo. And it's those kind of like Pop Rocks. So I remember somebody somehow died from those Pop Rocks. I just can't believe that they're going to make those. And it says with popping candy. So, and all of them say at candy hunting. So, yeah, I can't see them coming out with that. This is kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of that. But, they have the Girl Scout cookies. They've been out now. People getting boxes of Girl Scout cookies. But I don't know what it is. I think at this area, we got, what do you call them? The generic Girl Scout cookie. Not the normal ones. You have, what is it? Peanut butter patty, or not peanut butter patties. They got peanut butter sandwich. And then they call them, they're different. They're different names. They're made under 2 different companies make them, and they have. They're not even close to the same. Yeah, they have. What is it? If you look at the Girl Scout cookie lineup, they have. Shortbread, which is, or actually the peanut butter sandwich is called the Do-si-dos or whatever. Yeah, and if you, I don't know how we got those in this area, how they ended up coming, because usually we always got the normal ones, like, Lynn, welcome to the show. Usually we had the ones that were, the normal brand, like if you said it was shortbread, thin mint, stuff like that. But this year we got, I don't know if it's the different time of year you get them or whatever, or whoever happened to be shipping. But yeah, it was weird to see. The peanut butter patties and tagalongs. That's another one. You have. Do-si-dos or peanut butter sandwich. You have Savannah Smiles, which are the lemon, I think it's the lemon ones. And then you got I'm trying to do is find out which ones. They have the s'mores. Those I didn't care for. But I am a big fan of the... Oh, here we go. Here's the names. All right, I found them. Samoans are Caramel Delights. And I'm sorry. That's a misleading name. Because Samoas have coconut in them. And there is no delight about coconut. I'm sorry. That's just me. You got tagalongs. They're the peanut butter patties. trefoils or shortbread. You have Do-si-dos or the peanut butter sandwich. But yeah, this year we got the Do-si-dos. And it was like somebody just kind of like waved the peanut butter over them. It's like they must have had whoever was making them was the one allergic to peanut butter, so they couldn't put it on them. Yeah, just saying. It was just a little light on the peanut butter. They had a almost 100-year-old lady that wanted to fulfill her bucket list. So with her wanting to fulfill her bucket list, she requested, this is kind of weird, you don't normally get people, Dutch woman approaching her 100th birthday persuaded the local police to arrest her and fulfill an item on her bucket list. She's nearly 100 years old, and they showed a picture of her, and she is like jacked, that she's handcuffed and snap photos of her in cuffs for the camera. I'm like, most people don't get excited about that. At least my experience that I've dealt with anybody that's been arrested is not usually excited about it. Kind of scary. They had that car crash into the crowd down in New Orleans. What, about 20 some injured? A drunk driver, like over 3 times the legal limit. That's scary. I haven't heard anybody dying from that, just some injuries. But yeah, that's scary to think that. We had also, what was it? Here's a weird one, and this is just my wife. She calls me from the hotel that she's staying at, and she says, I said, "How's it going?" She goes, "Haven't found any bed bugs yet." And I said, "Well, that's good." And I was talking with her, and she says, that she was looking for him or whatever, and I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, she's serious." Well, it says, this is a story. West Manheim Township Police entered a home on Baltimore Pike, and one of the first things they noticed were bed bugs. It said the pests were seen on the walls and along ledges. They scurried along the bed sheets and pillows where an elderly woman slept in the first room. That woman, police said, told officers she was blind, but could feel them crawling. Said sometimes, she said, the bugs bit her too. EMS makes you just itch. Just read this story. It said EMS would later check on that woman, but they did not notice any visible injuries, police said. But according to police, there was a second woman who was living in the home too. Both of them staying under the care of the home's owner, who had previously run a licensed home care facility. Said the lady's name is Butler, 72, closed that business a few years ago. The woman had stayed with her at her home. Police said she provided food, shelter, clothing, as well as personal and health care. Both women paid for care services, documents state. 2 weeks after police visited Butler's house for the first time, that second woman, her name was Mary Stoner, died at New York Hospital. An autopsy determined that her cause of her death was from complications of sepsis following a bed bug infestation, according to charging documents. So, felony charges were filed against Butler earlier this week. She faces neglect of care, a first-degree felony, as well as involuntary manslaughter misdemeanor. Imagine that. The lady was bitten by bed bugs and got sick from that. As the Butler had taken Stoner to the family doctor in January, Stoner had been scratching her neck and been sick. Butler did not mention bed bugs during the doctor's appointment. How can you, seeing them running all over the place, how you can just sit there and let that go? That's gross. I said, so, I mean, you hear about them and you think, oh, yeah, they're not that bad. But you don't realize that they can be that overwhelming. Ugh. Give you the heebie-jeebies just thinking about them. Had a story of a woman who was driving her car. A Utah sheriff's office said a driver who crashed her car head-on into a deputy sheriff SUV had wandered out of her lane because she was playing with a puppy. So, since she was traveling down the road about 30 miles an hour, the driver unknowingly swerved in the oncoming lane and looked up just in time to see the bumper of a DCSO patrol vehicle. Luckily, no one was injured in the crash, but the vehicle and their wallet from the citations received were not so lucky. Yeah, right. You imagine, I don't know if my sister's still listening. She was on Facebook here a little while ago, watching me on Facebook Live. But if I recall correctly, I was a freshman in high school, and she was student teaching at the school. She's a few years older than I won't mention. But we were on our way to school, my brother, my sister, and my sister student teaching, along with my cousin and another, I want to say another lady that student teaches there. I think there was 6 of us in the car. And my sister was always a lead foot. Come up over the top of the one hill, and it was solid ice. And she hit the brake, and we slid sideways down the hill, and rear-ended an unmarked Illinois state trooper. Like, yes, if you're gonna hit somebody, didn't do much damage to its car, but totaled my mom and dad's. They had a Cutlass salon, and it's a unibody construction, so you hit that center frame and it's toast because there's nothing to do to fix that. Yep, that was I remember that as still remember it to this day. Sliding down the hill sideways into the back of this car. Luckily, we didn't keep on going out into traffic. But yeah, she was for a while there. She was like a magnet for it. I remember. I shouldn't tell stories to get through, but yeah, she got into a few accidents there for a while. I had one where I was driving down the road, and I just started to accelerate because I just pulled out of a 7-Eleven, and I was starting to accelerate, and I see this face out of the corner of my eye. I lock up the brakes, and boosh, there goes my window. Some girl was gapping traffic and ran right dead into the side of my car and hit the front corner panel, and her head took out my windshield, shattered it out. Didn't all she had was a slight concussion and a cut, but yeah, that was a weird, scary time to actually hit somebody with a car. So you see these new I don't know what you want to call them. It's happening in Australia. Police said they're investigating a video showing 2 teenagers train surfing by clinging to the back of a train. I'm like, why would you want to even try that? It says Melbourne Metro Trains Melbourne spokesperson said this is very concerning. We asked passengers if they witness this type of irresponsible behavior to call, and they got a number that they go. It's not going to do any good to give out the number because nobody's going to call it. But you look at kids that they play on the train tracks and stuff like that, and I don't mess with these things. They're just too big. They're not nothing to play around. You look at oh, what movie was it? Where they would go up on top of the train cars and run from car to car. I'm sorry, it's not that. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just not what I would not take a chance on that. I don't mess around with those things. We used to do is stick pennies on the tracks and a train run them over and smash the penny down. Yeah, we've done that before. That was kind of cool to do. Go find the penny after it's, after the train's gone. It looks like a pancake. Just a neat thing to do. We have, here was a funny story here. Very, very common to see, police officers go to school, and it's, go to school for lunch things. It says, police officer goes to school for lunch, and at lunch with a cop program, ended up arresting a 13-year-old student for bringing an airsoft gun and drugs to school. It said the arrest occurred around 11 a.m. at school. A member of the school's security staff alerted the police officer about the airsoft gun and marijuana. Yeah, they don't mess around anymore. They have zero tolerance on the gun stuff. But they had... why would you, going to bring drugs to school? They need to do is sit there and let these drug dogs go through the school. That'll stop them from bringing it in. I always loved the guy that tried to rob the TV from, I think it was Walmart, and it was Shop with a Cop Day. Yeah. Okay, bright one. God, there's just so many cops in every aisle. Oh, let's grab a TV. Yeah. Okay, smartass. They have, this is a story that's been going around, and this is so many people have, I don't know what you would call it. It's, that they're so upset with Donald Trump that they're using witches to get rid of the world of Donald Trump. I'm like, really? It says, following the footsteps of Lady Gaga, Lana Del Rey is attempting to use witchcraft to move Donald Trump from presidency. It says, at the stroke of midnight, the famed singer tweeted February 24th, March 26th, April 24th, May 23rd. Whatever that means. The ingredients can be found online. Observers noted these dates line up with the waning crescent moon ritual dates that recently made headlines as members of the cult claimed that they would perform ceremonies to rid the world of Donald Trump each time the event occurs. It says a representative Del Rey confirmed to Pitchfork that singer-songwriter tweet was in reference to the cult rituals. So it said the necessary ingredients had previously been revealed to be unflattering photograph of Donald Trump, a bowl of water. I won't give all the ingredients out, but according to those participating in the ritual, they will not cease until Donald Trump is finally out of power. Well, that'll be either 4 or 8 years. And then you can cease. So, I don't know. It just... They think that they're going to do is, with some idea that they're going to create the voodoo whammy on him to make him leave. Well, talk about how weird things are getting. And how people are doing different stuff that are like, I wouldn't say cutting edge. I'd say, well, it has to do with cutting. But this man was sentenced for cutting off a woman's finger and drinking her blood in a juggalo ritual. It says, man sentenced for cutting off woman's finger and drinking her blood. Wisconsin man is sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for cutting off a woman's finger and drinking her blood in a ritual to honor a fellow fan of Detroit rap duo Insane Clown Posse. It's a 24-year-old Jonathan Schrapp was sentenced Friday on one count of second-degree reckless injury. A complainant says Schrapp and his friends were staging a ritual memorial at his house in August to commemorate a deceased member of Juggalos. The name given to the Insane Clown Posse fans. Where do you go with this? How can this happen? Can this even happen in Green Bay? Judge John P. Zakowski said at the sentencing. The woman first allowed Schrapp to cut her arm with a machete and drink her blood. She eventually gave permission to Schrapp to cut off her right pinky finger with a machete, which, according to court documents, required more than one blow to sever. John then placed the finger in the freezer, where he said he would cook it and eat it later. The group then attempted to stop bleeding by using a cigar lighter, which failed. Then they used a blowtorch. The mother of the woman's boyfriend persuaded her to go to the hospital, and staff members called police. The woman said she was not under any influence of drugs or alcohol during the ritual. No, she was under the influence of stupidity. It says Schrapp's Facebook page is full of juggalo imagery. Really? Gonna cut off somebody's finger? Oh, yeah, we'll put it in the freezer. I'll have that for a snack later. A little chicken fingers, yeah. That's just sick. No, we're not. No, it's not. They're not going crazy. They're just young kids. That's the way they act. No, they're crazy. Here's a martial arts story. I get into the martial arts. But this is 2 articles here. This one I think I could have a chance at. But a martial artist from Pakistan set a world record by crushing nearly 80 cans using his elbow. Muhammad Rashid quickly delivered several mighty elbow strikes as he crushed a total of 77 cans. It's set to Guinness Book of World Record for most cans crushed with an elbow in 1 minute. He sent foamy liquid splashing into the crowd as he delivered a powerful strike to each individual can. So, I think I could probably try that one. That one might be all right. This next one is the one that gets me. This guy, he was known as, and I'm going to say it, the Iron Crotch Kung Fu Master. A Chinese martial artist shared his video of he and his students taking repeated blows to the groin as means of promoting his unusual form of Kung Fu. Master Wei Yaobin, known as the Iron Crotch Kung Fu Master, appeared in a video alongside some of his students, taking strong kicks to the groin as well as being hit in the private with objects including bricks and battering ram. Wei claims his form of Kung Fu can help men overcome erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. If it's still there when you're done. The master said he previously only taught his form of Kung Fu, which he has been practicing for 10 years in the city of Luoyang, to family members, but is now seeking to make his Iron Crotch method more widespread. We want to make it more popular and accepted by the public. So, I'm sorry, but I'm going to pass on that one. I figure you just wear a little cup. I wouldn't want to take the chance. I remember way back when I was in law enforcement, I had one frequent inhabitant of would take and punch himself in the groin. He was not all there, and he looked like if you're older, you'd understand who this is. Captain Caveman from the cartoons. That's the way he kind of looked like. But here's another story talking about special human feat. Pro wrestler hammers record 38 nails with his head in 2 minutes. Known as Hammerhead. Yeah, we had a guy when I was down in Texas. He was known as Hammerhead because he was, I guess, they tried to rob him during a crack deal, and they hit him with a ball-peen hammer in his head and crushed part of his skull. And, yeah, his nickname was, of course, Hammerhead. But, yeah, that's just... I don't know why that would be considered a special feat, or why you would even want to try to be that special feat. Why the Guinness Book of World Records would even, want to do is make that a record. Oh, I crushed so many cans with my elbow. Why does that become a record, or what's the purpose of it? So, I mean, there are just a lot of different records. You see it on the Today Show. We'll have different people do different stuff. They'll determine whether they're Guinness Book of World Record or not. I mean, to some people, it's a big thing. Some people, it's not. Here's kind of this is more on the serious lines, but, as you travel, apparently security is becoming more and more. Well, this is an article that comes out on zerohedge.com. And it's an article about U.S. Marshals. It says for 15 years, airport security is becoming more invasive. There are ever more checkpoints, ever more requests for documents as you make your way from the airport entrance to the airplane. Passengers adapt to the new changes as they come. But the latest flight to Mexico, originating in Atlanta, this is was submitted by Jeffrey Tucker via the Foundation for Economic Education, presented all passengers with something that he had never seen before. He said, we'd already been through boarding pass checks, passport checks, scanners, and pat-downs. At the gate, each passenger had already had their ticket scanned and were walking on the jet to board. It's at this time that most people assume that it's all done. Finally, we can enjoy some sense of normalcy. This time was different. Halfway down the jet bridge, there was a new layer of security. 2 U.S. Marshals, heavily armed and dressed in dystopian-style black regalia, stood next to an upright machine with a glowing green eye. Every passenger, one by one, was told to step up on a mat, look into the green scanner. It was scanning our eyes and matching that scan with the passport, which was also scanned yet again. So like everyone else, I complied. What was my choice? I guess I could have turned my back at that point, declined to take the flight I had paid for, but it would be unclear what would happen then. After standing there for perhaps 8 seconds, the machine gave the go signal and I boarded. So, says I talked to a few passengers about this. We're just as shaken by the experience. They were, it says I couldn't find anyone who had ever seen anything like this before. I wrote several friends who travel internationally, and none of them said that they've ever seen anything like this. Said I will tell you how it made me feel like a prisoner in my own country. It said the scene reminded me of movies I've seen like Hunger Games or 1984. It's a chilling and strange, even deeply alarming to anyone who's ever dreamed of what freedom might be like if it doesn't look like this. Well, it's not any different. It's weird from state to state. But I mean, what when you walk into the airport, now we talked about this before, and you go through, I wonder if it has to do with going to different country flights. But if you go to, you go through the airport years ago, you might see a police officer with a handgun, but now you see a security officer with a fully automatic weapon. I mean, times have changed. Technology is out there, and it helps. Hey, you want to see? I would rather have them scan my retinas and be who I am than to scan and it not be the person it's supposed to be. So, and find out the hard way. So, we have, there was an article that went out and was shared on Facebook, and they was talking about, you go on your flight and everything, and you toss your boarding pass, and you throw it away or whatever. Well, the problem is, and I didn't realize this until I read this article, and there's a video about it, where they can find all your information from the barcode from when you bought your plane ticket, like who you are, what you paid for it, how you paid for it, pretty much, every information they need, and they can extract it from that barcode. And you don't realize that they can do that. So, people, you got to do is make sure that you dispose of things correctly. Get your, one of them shredders if you don't need it. You don't get just one of the dozen strips. Get your cross cut, so it makes it into like little confetti. It's we have one of those where every year they have a company come in and you can put the whole box in and it just shreds the whole box at once. It's a humongous truck. Yeah, I would like to. There's a lot, some papers I'd love to have shredded and take them to that. But yeah, if not, get your little, get you one that does like credit cards and that. You take your old credit cards, stick them in there, and they'll shred the cards up like little confetti chips. And it better be safe than sorry. You don't want to have, and somebody end up, breaching your account or finding out where you live because of a discarded boarding pass. So it's that time of the night. We've been a fast hour. Hard to believe it's already been that time. I got a crazy story going to be coming up here probably in a couple weeks. Hopefully I can get all the information about it. But it was just a weird one to hear tonight. So everybody, have a great night. Be safe. If you see something, say something. And we were watching, what is it, that 24 Legacy, the new one that's out. And they showed old video of, I think it was some shooting, and they got a lot of crap for it. And I'm like, hey, they incorporated real world video in this 24. And I told my wife, I said, that's why I carry. That, because you never know when that's going to happen. You could be in a grocery store, and then all of a sudden the shooting break out. And that's why you carry, to protect yourself. You never know when it's going to happen. But everybody have a great night. Be safe. And we'll see you on Wednesday night.